Good morning, friends. If you are preparing for an interview and the topic is change management, then this video can be a complete game changer for you. In this video, I am going to share top 10 change management interview questions with powerful answers. And that will not only help you respond better, but also make you stand out in front of the interviewer. If you want confidence, clarity, and selection, make sure you watch this video till the end. Question 1. What is change management and why is it important? Answer can be like this: change management is a structured approach used to transition individuals, teams, and organizations from a current state to a desired future state. It ensures that changes are implemented smoothly and successfully. It involves planning, communication, training, and support. Organizations face constant change due to technology, competition, and market dynamics. Without proper change management, employees may resist or misunderstand changes. This can lead to reduced productivity and failure of initiatives. Change management helps minimize disruption. It improves employee adoption and engagement. It aligns people with organizational goals. It ensures that the benefits of change are realized. It reduces risks associated with change. It also improves communication across teams. Leaders can track progress and make adjustments. It builds a culture of adaptability. It helps organizations stay competitive. It increases the success rate of projects. It ensures sustainability of change. It enhances employee confidence. Overall, it turns uncertainty into opportunity. Here is your next question. Describe a time you managed a major change. Answer to this question: in my previous role, we implemented a new CRM system. The goal was to improve customer tracking and sales efficiency. Initially, employees were resistant to the change. They were comfortable with the old system. I started by clearly communicating the purpose and benefits. I involved key stakeholders early in the process. I conducted training sessions for all users. I created user guides and support materials. I also identified change champions within teams. They helped influence others positively. I gathered feedback regularly. I addressed concerns quickly. I ensured leadership support was visible. I tracked adoption rates and performance metrics. I celebrated small wins to build momentum. Over time, resistance decreased. Employees became more confident using the new system. Productivity improved significantly. The transition was completed successfully. This experience taught me the importance of communication and engagement. Question 3. How do you handle resistance to change? Answer is as follows: resistance to change is natural and expected. I first try to understand the root cause. It could be fear, lack of clarity, or comfort with the current system. I listen actively to employee concerns. I create an open environment for discussion. I communicate the reasons for change clearly. I explain the benefits for both the organization and individuals. I involve employees in the change process. This gives them a sense of ownership. I provide proper training and support. I identify influencers who can advocate for change. I address misinformation quickly. I maintain transparency throughout the process. I acknowledge emotions and concerns. I provide reassurance where needed. I highlight success stories. I keep leadership involved. I track resistance patterns. I adapt strategies accordingly. Over time, resistance usually decreases. Building trust is key. Question 4. What change management models are you familiar with? Answer can be like this: I am familiar with several change management models. One is Kotter's 8-step change model. It focuses on creating urgency and building momentum. It includes steps like forming a coalition and anchoring change. Another model is ADKAR Model. It focuses on individual change. It includes awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. I have also studied Lewin's change model. It includes unfreeze, change, and refreeze stages. Each model has its strengths. I choose the model based on the situation. Sometimes I combine elements from multiple models. Practical application is more important than theory. I focus on communication and engagement. I ensure leadership alignment. I measure outcomes and adjust strategies. These models provide structure. They reduce uncertainty. They increase success rates. They guide decision making. They help manage resistance. They improve adoption. Overall, they are very useful tools. Question 5. How do you ensure effective communication during change? Suggested answer: effective communication is critical during change. I start with a clear communication plan. I identify key stakeholders. I define messages for different audiences. I ensure messaging is simple and consistent. I use multiple channels like emails, meetings, and dashboards. I communicate early and frequently. I explain the why behind the change. I highlight benefits and expected outcomes. I provide timelines and updates. I encourage two-way communication. I create forums for questions and feedback. I address concerns promptly. I involve leadership in communication. Their support builds trust. I use real examples to make messages relatable. I track communication effectiveness. I adjust based on feedback. Transparency is key. I avoid information gaps. Consistency builds confidence. Good communication reduces resistance. Question 6. How do you engage stakeholders? Suggested answer: stakeholder engagement starts with identification. I map stakeholders based on influence and impact. I understand their expectations and concerns. I involve them early in the process. I communicate clearly and regularly. I tailor messages for each group. I build relationships and trust. I seek their input and feedback. I include them in decision-making where possible. I assign roles and responsibilities. I keep them informed of progress. I address their concerns proactively. I align change goals with their interests. I highlight benefits relevant to them. I recognize their contributions. I ensure leadership involvement. I monitor engagement levels. I adjust strategies if needed. Strong engagement leads to better adoption. It reduces resistance. It ensures smoother implementation. Question number 7. How do you measure success of change? Suggested answer: measuring success is essential. I define clear objectives at the start. I identify key performance indicators, KPIs. These could include adoption rates, productivity, and user satisfaction. I track progress regularly. I use surveys and feedback tools. I analyze performance data. I compare results with baseline metrics. I assess employee engagement levels. I monitor system usage if technology is involved. I evaluate business outcomes. I check if goals are achieved. I identify gaps and challenges. I make improvements based on findings. I report results to stakeholders. I celebrate achievements. I ensure sustainability of change. Continuous monitoring is important. Success is both quantitative and qualitative. It includes behavior change. It includes performance improvement. Question 8. Describe a failed change initiative. Suggested response: in one project, a new process was introduced without proper communication. Employees were not fully informed. Training was limited. Resistance increased quickly. Adoption was very low. The initiative failed to meet its goals. I analyzed the situation. The main issue was lack of engagement. Leadership involvement was also minimal. We restarted the initiative with a new approach. We improved communication significantly. We involved employees early. We provided proper training. We addressed concerns openly. We created feedback channels. Adoption improved gradually. The second attempt was successful. This experience taught me valuable lessons. Communication is critical. Engagement is essential. Leadership support is necessary. Planning must be thorough. Failure is a learning opportunity. Question 9. How do you prioritize multiple change initiatives? Suggested answer: prioritization starts with understanding business goals. I evaluate each initiative based on impact and urgency. I assess resource availability. I identify dependencies between projects. I consider risks and benefits. I align initiatives with strategic objectives. I consult with leadership. I involve stakeholders in discussions. I use prioritization frameworks if needed. I create a roadmap for implementation. I ensure realistic timelines. I avoid overloading teams. I focus on high-impact changes first. I monitor progress continuously. I adjust priorities as needed. Flexibility is important. I ensure clear communication. I track resource utilization. Effective prioritization improves outcomes. It reduces stress. It ensures better execution. Question 10. What role does leadership play? Suggested answer: leadership plays a critical role in change management. Leaders set the vision and direction. They communicate the purpose of change. Their support builds trust. Employees look to leaders for guidance. Leaders must lead by example. They must show commitment to change. They help remove obstacles. They provide resources and support. They motivate and inspire teams. They address concerns and resistance. They ensure alignment across the organization. They reinforce desired behaviors. They celebrate successes. They maintain momentum. Without strong leadership, change often fails. Leadership drives adoption. It influences culture. It ensures sustainability. It is the backbone of successful change management. So these were the top 10 change management interview questions or answers that can take your interview preparation to the next level. Remember friends, it's not just about knowing the answers, it's about presenting them with confidence and real-life examples. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more powerful interview content. Your next interview could be your next big success.